the same gentleman that spoke this morning. So.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm the spokesman and PIO for the State Fire Marshal's Office, Oliver, O-L-I-V-E-R, Alkire, A-L-K-I-R-E. Just want to provide you guys some updates on where this investigation is currently. We're just about 6 hours into it, and we just wanted to give you kind of an update. What I can confirm is that sadly and tragically, that we can confirm that we did lose a 35-year-old employee of a BGE utility, BGE contractor, specifically Hammer Utilities. That employee was on the scene. He is confirmed as the victim that tragically died earlier today. The investigation is still extremely active. We are working with our partners with Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives, ATF. We have brought in, fortunately through the assistance of Harford County government, we have a lot of heavy equipment, excavators and such that are helping us to remove that debris, to search through that debris. We can confirm that the house was for sale. So with that being said, that is one of the reasons why we're slowly and meticulously taking that debris apart to see if there's any other victims inside that home. We just don't know yet, so we are still actively doing that. What we're also doing is we were initially going to have a statement from BGE. That's not going to happen. However, you can refer to their statement for that. Do you have any specific questions regarding the investigation at this time?
You mentioned in the first news conference that electrical work was being done on the house. Do we know what kind of electrical work was being done?
No, we don't know what type of exact electrical work was being done. However, there was a work order in for those BGE contractors to come here and do work, but I do not know the specifics of that.
Is it possible that that was the ignition for this?
We don't know right now. That's still under investigation. But something like this large, there's just multiple ignition sources. So that's certainly going to be one part of the investigation that we're going to be certainly looking at.
So Oliver, there were reports of a gas leak. Several neighbors called in. It actually went to Harford County Fire and EMS. Do we know how long that gas leak had been happening before the explosion?
Yeah, so right now that's still under investigation. However, right now we only have one report of a gas leak within the area. So we're still combing through all that information to see if there's any additional phone calls.
Debris field-wise, have you been able to figure out how far this went?
I do not know the exact parameter of this size. I can tell you it's several blocks. So I know that we have working with Department of DELP, or Harford County Department of Inspection, Licensing and Permit. They've been fantastic in working with us to try to contact the outside residents outside of that immediate debris field to be looking for any other damage to their homes.
Utility-wise, has anything been cut off to the neyborhood? What's the story with the rest of the homes?
Yeah, I do know that there was some work done. I would like to refer over to BGE for that. I think if you refer to their statement, they can provide specifics on how many and how many people are affected.
And then clarification on injuries, because before it's one dead, one injured. So we know that the dead person, you said 35-year-old man, who's a contractor for BGE, and then the injured woman is that neighbor next door?
That's correct.
Is it the house exactly next door, or where was that in relation to the house?
It was immediately adjacent to the left of the involved home.
And what were her injuries?
I think it was just bumps, bruises, cuts, and certainly shock.
What do you make of what we're seeing here? Because we're seeing homes 200 yards away where the windows bowed out. Not bowing in, but bowing out. What do you make of that?
This is certainly, when we see these type of scenes, they are vast, they're incredible to look at. They're rare, but we have seen them across the state. This is what we consider a high explosive type of incident. We typically do see these incidents with some type of gas explosion. So that's certainly why we're working with our partners at BGE to certainly comb through that debris field and trying to see what clues we can come up with.
And search efforts, we're probably looking hours, maybe well into the morning or the next day, right?
Yeah, we're certainly working with, we are slowly and meticulously. It's okay to confirm that we have requested the assistance of a cadaver dog. That's normal, that's standard operating procedure. We want to cover all our bases on that. We want to make sure that if there is anybody inside there, that we do locate them.
So right now you have not gone through the entire house just yet, you're still going through carefully?
It's piece by piece. Virtually all of that debris needs to be removed. We need to search through all that debris. This is also a large house. Square footage wise, it's a very large footprint. So all of that debris that's there, we have to remove, section off, cordon off, go through it. So it's a pretty intense operation.
And you may have covered this. We know the house was for sale. Do we know if it was occupied by residents or was it a vacant home that was for sale? Do we know?
Yeah, so that's what we want to confirm. We can confirm that it is, it was for sale. However, we don't know if anybody was inside. That's why it's still a very active search scene. That's why we're working with our partners over at Special Operations of Harford County. They're bringing in multiple pieces of equipment. We have our command bus here. So this is going to be an extended operation, and we just want to make sure that we cover all our bases.
And then where do we go from here? Where do you guys go from here in terms of, the next few hours into tomorrow and going forward?
Yeah, this is where we continue our investigation throughout the day. We're going to be certainly working with Harford County Sheriff's Office here with the death investigation. And we'll also work with our partners at ATF. They're certainly the experts in locating the gas along with BGE. This is something where it's just piece by piece is what we're going to be looking at. And we also want to rebuild the community. That's something that we're here for. We want to make sure that we document every house that was involved and make sure that we were able to provide them the information they need for their insurance and rebuilding their lives.
This might be a question for County Fire, but 911 calls coming in from the explosion, how far away were people hearing this?
So I cannot speak to that specifically. Again, we haven't gathered that much information. We do know that there was an influx in calls this morning as a result of the explosion, and they're still gathering information at this time.
You know how many call me? Dozens? How many calls?
I can't speak to that specifically. That would be a question that would be more specific for the spokesperson for the Department of Emergency Services and Harford County government. But are there any other questions for Office of the State Fire Marshal? Okay.
Earlier today, you guys mentioned that the house was looking for total loss. At this point in time, do we have any sort of value on the house, potential value on the house?
No, that's certainly being evaluated. So the question was, are we looking at a total? It is a total loss. So we're certainly going to look at we're not going to look at exact dollar loss at this point because we got to associate all the other all the other houses that were damaged. So that's going to be a very tedious process to try to pinpoint an exact number. So right now we don't have a number on that.
Thank you guys so much.
All right, thanks.
Okay, real quick before we wrap up, we do want to introduce the spokesperson or PIO for Harford County Government. This is Matthew Budden. He wants to give some information regarding a tip line and hotline that we've opened up in regards to this.
So again, Matt, M-A-T-T, Button, B-U-T-T-O-N, Harford County Public Information Officer. Harford County has opened up a hotline for residents in the area if they smelled gas this morning or wanted to report damage to their homes from the explosion. That number is 410-838-5800. Again, that number is 410-838-5800. If anyone in the neighborhood smelled gas this morning or wants to report damage to their homes or anything of that sort, they can certainly call that number as the hotline that we've opened up through Harford County.
And then do you have any clarification on the 911 calls coming in, how far people were hearing?
I don't have anything immediately. I can certainly work on trying to get some sort of a number for you like that, but as of this minute, I don't have anything exact.
Yeah, I guess I'm just curious how far away people were hearing this.
Yeah, I don't have any specific information I can give you at this particular time about that.
Cool. Thank you, Matt.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
All good, guys. Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys.
All right, guys, thank you. If there are any other further updates, there will be an organized press conference. We apologize. It was kind of impromptu, but they will schedule something, and they'll announce it on all the social media platforms if there's anything moving forward.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Are we feeding back? That was not live.